Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzy. This is the Farzy Show, presented by my man, Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. So much to get to today. Phillies hold a big press conference talking about plans for Bryce Harper, plans for the offseason, and money to be spent. Meanwhile, Nick Sirianni addresses the media to talk about all things defensive tackle Lineal Joseph, as the Eagles have decided to bring in the two-time Pro Bowler to plug up the middle of the defensive line and maybe spell Fletcher Cox, who did not hold back in comments that he made yesterday. And we'll also get into, oh man, this, I know the classy thing to say is never, I told you so. It's not the opposite. It's the opposite of classy. I told you so. You're not supposed to say that. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to say this. We told you so. All right. We is the royal we surrounding all of us in the Philadelphia 76ers fan base. You is everyone in the Brooklyn Nets fan base. And the vast majority of the national media, I would say this. We told you so about Ben Simmons. More on that in a second. Let's start it off with the Phillies and Dave Dombrowski's press conference along with Sam Fuld, as well as our skipper extraordinaire, Mr. Rob Thompson. But yesterday, a couple of things jumped out at me at the press conference from the Phillies. And the number one thing was the fact that the Phillies are, in fact, confirming reports, more or less, that they are operating under the assumption they are going to sign a big money player. Did they come out and say that yesterday? Did Dave Dombrowski just come out and flat out say that yesterday? No. But through that press conference, when he was asked about money coming off the books, he made it a point to talk about the money. And very rarely does that happen. But when he talks about guys like Gene Segura coming off the books and opening up a lot of cash to sign another big money player, Trey Turner, then you kind of understand that they are, what was the term that was used so many years ago? Star hunting yet again. That's where the Phillies are right now. Do I think it's going to happen? Yes, I still think it's going to be Trey Turner. I know other reports have now come out about Xander Bogaerts possibly coming to Philadelphia to be their shortstop and playing every day there and moving Bryson Stott over to second base. Yes, I still think that's happening in terms of the fact that they're going to add one of the big shortstops out there. The interesting thing, though, one of the things Dave Dombrowski also said was when he was asked about the shortstop position, he also said, well, we have a shortstop that we're comfortable with in Sosa. And I was like, wow, we already have Stott at second, do we? That can only mean someone's going to go in there and take over the shortstop position that you have a lot more confidence in. And I'm going to go ahead and assume it's not Edmundo Sosa. I'm going to go ahead and assume it is one of the major guys that are out there, like Trey Turner, for instance. He did mention Bryson Stott moving over to second base. If we do get one of those guys, we could possibly move Stott to second. You already put him at second base there, pal. That's like people say, oh, why do you care about what they say? It's more about what they do. Of course, it's more about what they do. But if you could get a line into their way of thinking before it actually goes down, don't you want those little nuggets of information? Because I sure as heck do. And that's what we got out of yesterday's presser. We got that. We got the idea they already have Bryson Stott at second, which means somebody is coming in there to play shortstop for the Phillies. And then you also bring in there that the idea that the Phillies are in the spot where they will be able to add another big money player, as he did say yesterday. They're going after Turner. I think he's going to be here in Philadelphia. I think he's going to be there at shortstop, and I think that's what's going to move Bryson Stott over to second. They also talked about Rhys Hoskins working on his defense. This is one thing that came out of the press conference yesterday that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because I like Dave Dombrowski. I was optimistic. People, Dave Dombrowski, would he ever won World Series? He's taken different teams to the World Series. I like Dave Dombrowski. He's a proven winner. He's proven to build winners in other cities. And here he is in his first season, really calling all the shots with all the power. What does he do? Boom. 2 seasons later, he's got the Phillies in the not only in the playoffs, but in the World Series. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and like Dave Dombrowski. But one thing he said yesterday that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, he was asked about Rhys Hoskins' defensive ability, and it drives everybody crazy. We all know this. So yesterday he gets asked about it, and he says, well, it's going to be tough for him to work on it in the winter. It's going to be tough for Rhys Hoskins to work on his defensive abilities in the winter. I'll say it one more time because these words came out of your president of baseball operations mouth yesterday. Well, it's going to be tough for Rhys Hoskins to work on his defense in the winter. Maybe in the spring he can work on it a little bit more. But he does work on it hard. He works real hard at it. He's not a gold glove. He said he's not a gold glove first baseman. Okay. All right. We've all acknowledged that. Glad we're all on the same page as far as that goes. But the idea that Rhys Hoskins has to wait to the spring to work on his defense, the implication there is weak. You mean to tell me these professional athletes can't work on their craft inside anywhere in any way, shape, or form, whether it's just eye-hand coordination drills or whatever, or they can't go to a warm weather climate if they have to work outside? Seriously? There are high school kids that are playing year-round, working on their defense nonstop, finding some way to do it. It's going to be difficult because of the winter. There's two things. One, they're going to offer him a contract. So Rhys Hoskins, as I've been telling you this whole time, most likely will be back with the Phillies. Second, go ahead and take some ground balls. In the winter. Warm weather climate? No, not happening. A gym somewhere? Not happening. Okay, all right. Thanks for that. Appreciate that update. And then two other things. They got a lot of confidence in Andrew Painter. And I know they said that a young arm, they're going to leave room for another young arm, whether that's Bailey Falter, whoever it might be. A couple names were thrown out there. I think it's Andrew Painter. It might not be right out of the gate, might not be to start things off for the Phillies in the rotation, but they're going to leave room. And they haven't closed the book, as they said, on Zach Eflin possibly coming back here to Philadelphia. It'll depend on what offers he gets out there in free agency, depending whether or not they're able to match that offer, or maybe they offer him the best deal and he stays here in Philadelphia and doesn't really flirt too much with any other team out there in Major League Baseball, which I would doubt because that's just the business of it. But Andrew Painter is definitely an eyebrow raiser for a lot of people, myself included. When you have a 6-2 record in the minor leagues, which he did this past minor league season, when you're 6-2 with a 1.56 ERA, that kind of raises your eyebrows. And the fact that you're only 19 years old, it kind of makes you sit on the edge of your seat there for a second, waiting for this kid to come up to the big leagues and see what he can do for you. And I love the idea that carrot was dangled out there in front of these young arms. You want to be in this rotation? You want to be behind a guy like Zach Wheeler? You want to be behind a guy like Aaron Nola, who, by the way, finished 4th in the Cy Young voting in the National League. The second time in his career he's finished in the top 5. The last time I believe he was 3rd in the voting. This time he's 4th in the voting. Not too shabby. Aaron Nola. But if you want a spot in this rotation behind those guys, and Ranger Suarez, of course, still being under contract, if you want to be one of those guys, the carrot is out there. Go chase it. Go find a spot in this rotation. And how about this? Go work hard in the offseason. Go work hard in the winter to come back and maybe earn your spot in the rotation. And then finally, it's Bryce Harper. He is going to have the surgery, which does not surprise me. He's supposed to have the surgery this week, as a matter of fact. And it's on the elbow, and it might affect the Phillies' offseason plans. It might affect Bryce Harper at the start of next season, which is certainly cause for concern. One thing I won't doubt, though, is that Bryce Harper will do everything in his power to go out there and make sure that he is ready for opening day of next year. Every rehab that he's got to do, every workout, every drill, whatever it is to strengthen that elbow, he will be ready to go. And I think not only will he ready to go to be your designated hitter, but I think he'll be ready to go to be in right field for you as well, which helps the Phillies tremendously because not only just having him back is great to have that bat in the lineup, and he can do that as a DH as he did all last season, but he can also do it to open up those that designated hitter position for anybody else to take ABs, like a Rhys Hoskins, who maybe couldn't work on his defense in the winter, and you don't want him playing first base anyway. So maybe that would help the Phillies out just a little bit. So those are the biggest things that I took away from the press conference yesterday with the Phillies. Moving on. Speaking of guys that work hard to be back and help their team, like a guy like Bryce Harper, Ben Simmons is not that guy. And we took a lot of cheap shots from national media members Brooklyn Nets media members, the Brooklyn Nets the fan base, we took a lot of shots here in Philadelphia. You guys ruined Ben Simmons, the Ben Simmons situation. And Ben Simmons even said it himself. It was so toxic in Philadelphia. Well, here's a little report from Shams Charania that he put out yesterday, sending out this tweet to the masses. There has been building frustration surrounding the Nets star Ben Simmons' availability and level of play, according to sources. Meanwhile, Simmons says, I get the skepticism, but this is quote, I get the skepticism, but I think the one thing with me is that I'm a competitor. NBA Central went on to break it down a little bit further, talking about the coaching staff and players being concerned about his availability and level of play, some questioning his passion for the game. We told you so. Ben Simmons loves what basketball brings him. I don't think Ben Simmons loves basketball. Ben Simmons will tell you he loves basketball because the minute he tells you he doesn't love basketball is the minute everything is officially confirmed. But we've watched this guy, Philadelphia. We've seen every game he's played. He's not that guy. And the biggest tall tale sign for that is it's not even the lack of shooting. It's the total disrespect for the craft in the sport of basketball. When you have a guy like Kyrie Irving making sense when he says, Ben, shoot the ball. And you're like, holy God, even Kyrie Irving knows he needs to shoot the ball. I didn't think that guy really knew much about anything. But he knows Ben Simmons got to shoot the ball. And that's one thing that we can agree on there. You got to shoot the ball, Ben. If you're a basketball player, you got to shoot the ball. If you're a starting guard in the NBA, you got to shoot the basketball. Hell, if you're even playing a center position or facilitator, whatever it is with the Nets, you got to shoot the ball. I don't know anyone that likes the sport of basketball that went out there with their basketball hoop in their driveway or went to the park and just shuffled their feet to work on defensive drills. Like, nobody did that. You go out there and you shoot around. It's what you do. And we all know this in Philadelphia. We all watch this in Philadelphia. A lot of us got suckered in year one in the offseason when he's shirtless shooting shots. And we're like, Ben's working on the shot. He's going to come back and use it. Didn't happen. Next summer, same thing happened. Ben's going to come back. He's going to work on the shot. There's the shot. There's the pictures of him on Instagram shooting. Look at him. He's going to come back with that shot finally. There he is. Didn't happen. Year 3 happens. Goes into the offseason. Ben Simmons shooting into the offseason. And I said that time, not going to be fooled. I'm not going to be fooled this time. And then he shot and made a 3 against the Guangzhou Long Lions in an exhibition game. And I thought to myself, baby, here we go. Joel Embiid, just shoot it. Shoot that. He shot it. He made it. All was right with the world. All was great. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And it still didn't happen. And then Game 7 happened against the Hawks where he didn't dunk the basketball despite him being right there. Brooklyn, we tried to tell you. Nobody wanted to listen. I don't like speaking for the fan base. You guys have your own Twitter accounts. You guys have your own Instagram, your own social media. You guys have your own voice. You guys can speak for yourself these days. But I think we're all on the same page when we can offer up a big fat I told you so to the rest of the NBA world when it comes to Ben Simmons. And now there was already frustration. There's already reports of Kevin Durant being upset with it. There was already reports about Ben Simmons' lack of desire. That has been discussed for a long time now. On behalf of all of Philadelphia, I'd like to offer up a big fat I told you so. I being Philadelphia, not me necessarily. We told you so. Sixers won that trade, by the way. There's a little problem with Philadelphia Eagles. It's still facing them now, as a matter of fact. And that is the run defense without Jordan Davis in the middle of that line of scrimmage and a lot of work being on Fletcher Cox. And now Tuesday, I had said that I had never seen Fletcher Cox play that bad in all his time here in Philadelphia, and he was getting owned in that game. What I failed to realize during the game was the fact that he played 84% of the defensive snaps. He played 70 snaps in that game, something I believe Fletcher Cox has only done 8 times now in his career. Play 70 or more snaps. He's been around for 10 years. He's only done it 8 times in his career. 70 or more snaps, 84% of the snaps in this particular game. Jeff McClain caught up with Fletcher Cox, and Fletch was honest. We asked for honesty, and this is what Fletcher Cox had to tell the assembled masses. This is from Jeff McClain asking him about those 70 snaps versus Washington, and Fletcher Cox said, "You want the truth?" Now, I don't really curse on this show, but, for the sake of accuracy, you want the truth? I feel like shit. It ain't a good feeling, but you do what you need to do to win the game. 70 snaps is 70 snaps. I think that's supposed to be is and not in, but because he only played 84%. But anyway, only. But so the Eagles decided, well, we got Marlon also hurt there, their other defensive tackle. He's going to be on IR now. So what are we going to do with this? We're going to go get Lineal Joseph. The Eagles went out and added Lineal Joseph, 34-year-old Lineal Joseph, who has not played this year, to play in the middle of the defensive line with the Eagles. I would be surprised if he played Sunday. Nick Sirianni was asked about that yesterday. There was a report that he could play Sunday. I would be surprised if he did. But I would assume, being that Lineal Joseph or Jonathan Gannon is familiar with Lineal Joseph because they were both with the Vikings at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Jonathan Gannon knew how to translate the terminology for Joseph, but I would still be surprised if he was on the football field Sunday playing against the Colts. I would be surprised to see that. I would like to see it because simply I don't know who else plays. I don't know who else plays and then doesn't allow Fletcher Cox to play 70 snaps again. Because, yes, and I heard Nick Sirianni say this yesterday, I think it was with Ross Tucker on WIP, where he talked about how the blueprint is out on how to beat this team. Okay, good. Now make that adjustment, as I was talking about yesterday. Make that adjustment. If now other teams know how to play you, you got to adjust. Hollis Thomas will be joining us coming up in just a little bit to talk about how you adjust back and reset the blueprint on how to beat the Birds. So we'll talk about that. And I'll just say this. For all the anti-Jonathan Gannon people out there, you're going to like what Hollis has to say. Oh, Hollis is doling out the spicy meatballs, baby. So we'll get to that from Hollis Thomas coming up in a minute. But Lineal Joseph, 34 years old. I don't know what he has in the tank other than the fact that he is a warm body. Yes, he has had 2 Pro Bowl seasons. They were in 2016 and 2017. That's when Jonathan Gannon was on the staff of the Minnesota Vikings, with Lineal Joseph taking up a lot of the interior of that defensive line. And, yes, we mostly remember Lineal Joseph here in Philadelphia for the interception return for a touchdown he had on Carson Wentz. Lane Johnson got beat off the edge. They hit they hit Carson Wentz. Ball goes flying in the air. Carson's just standing there. Ball goes flying in the air. Comes out of Lineal Joseph's hands, and he returns it like 60 yards for a touchdown. Because, of course, he does. He had the oxygen on the sideline. I remember that. They got the shot. They were sure to get the shot of him doing that. But yeah, he is now going to be playing next to Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, whoever they decide to put him out there for, and we'll see if he's available for Sunday. Here is Nick Sirianni on adding Lineal Joseph to their D-line.
We had an opportunity to add a good player that we played against last year and who made things very difficult for us last year in that Charger game. And there's a lot of guys here that have had opportunities to be around him. Coach Gannon, Coach Rollis, Tom Hunkley. I mean, so there's been a lot of guys that have had experience with him, and we think he's the right type of guy for a locker room. We think he's still a heck of a football player, and he's going to be able to help us.
There was a report that he believes he can play as early as Sunday against the Colts. Do you think he has a chance? I mean, he hasn't been on a roster, and when will he be in the building and on the field?
Yeah, he's not here yet. Obviously, this just went down, and so we'll get him here as soon as we possibly can to catch him up to speed, and hopefully he gets to play on Sunday.
Like Christian McCaffrey, signed guy, got traded for by the San Francisco 49ers. He got traded on a Tuesday, and he played that Sunday. All right. Why not Lineal Joseph? Why not him out there too? Oh, he's not in the building yet. Okay. Oh, he's not here yet. Okay. Here's the deal. They might give him a couple of plays. He's understand. Like Robert Quinn played in the first week he was an Eagle. All right, they got him out there on the football field. That's good. He played a couple snaps. That's nice. Hey, Lineal, just stand in the middle of the line. They're going to keep running the ball at you. Just stand there and try to stop it. Just do that. Can you do that for us? All right, go get him, son. See you later. Son, 34 years old. I do ask Hollis whether or not he got a call from the Eagles. Hollis is 48. But I think he could still play. Man still works out like a wild man, I might add. Coming up, Hollis Thomas. All right. Let me tell you about the great people at Steven Singer. Steven Singer Jewelers, on the corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row in Philadelphia. Do what I do. When it comes to all your jewelry purchases, trust the man with the perfect price, and that's Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Other jewelers like to mark things way up, just to mark it down a couple of bucks, just to see, to make you feel like you won something. Not a Steven Singer. You know why? Because you don't have to worry about negotiating or haggling or anything like that. You just come in, sit down, relax, and look at all the beautiful, dazzling diamond inventory they have to offer. So when it comes to all that jewelry, you just go to Steven Singer, the other corner of 8th and Walnut. For over 40 years, Steven has been in the love business in Philly, helping people fall in love and get engaged. So ladies and gentlemen, do what I do. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price. The perfect price each and every day. All night at I8stevensinger.com. Without further ado, let's jump on the Roth and Orthopedics guest line. Talk to our friend Hollis Thomas. Now on the Roth and Orthopedics guest line. You know him, you love him, and if you don't know him, you love him. Well, why not just buy a shirt with his beautiful face on it? That's right. This is in conjunction there, Hollis Thomas, with Philly Sports Trips and Philly Sports Shirts. Where can I get my damn Skippy Hollis Thomas shirt?
On phillysportshirts.com, and just hit the damn Skippy button amongst the other buttons. Now, they have some other shirts on there, but I strongly suggest the damn Skippy shirt. I think they got them in black and white. Some people were saying, why didn't I go with the green color? I didn't want any copyrights with the birds there. Sometimes when you pick the green, they were like, hey, where's our cut? Not this time, pal.
You are a savvy businessman as per usual. How you been, my friend?
I've been pretty good. Well, the savvy part is it actually came about when I actually had somebody put up out a flyer, and it had a little bit of the logo showing, and they called me and asked me, hey, could you take that down, please? I was like, oh yeah, I can take it down. And but I already knew, because of being a former union rep. It's like that they don't. They had the same thing with LeVar Arrington, because he put like Washington Redskins, something all time great. And if you don't put former in there, then it's a copyright infringement, or they want a piece of the pie.
Gotcha. Understood. Yeah, because, and you know what, and rightfully so, because the NFL is just doing. I mean, they're just hard up on money right now.
Oh yeah,
it's
man,
tough times.
Man, yeah, Daniel Snyder is stealing from him.
Yeah, really.
He really is. Yeah, that was true, but it was funny. But but
funny because it's true.
Yeah, obviously we're not here to talk about that. We're here to get into the birds and my love-hate fest for Jonathan Gannon. I don't want to take over your show, but I've been itching to talk about this crap all week long. After watching that game, man, I get. This is the second year and a half of watching his passive aggressive nature as a defensive coordinator. You cannot be that way as a defensive coordinator. You must attack, force the issue. We have last year you can make concessions because you can say we didn't have the personnel to do whatever you want. Now we do. What's your damn excuse? Case in point, and I know I'm not the only one that's seen this. And not the only. You don't even have to be a defensive-minded person to know that why are you dropping Hassan Reddick or Robert Quinn? Why are you dropping them into coverage? One of them had 18.5 sacks last year, and one of them has had like 30 or 40 sacks in his past 3 or 4 years. What the hell are they doing in coverage? The last game, the Houston Texans game, the second touchdown pass, I was really pissed because they rushed 3 from one side, did not have contain on the right side. He scrambles out to the right, where Hassan Reddick has dropped inexplicably, and he scrambles and throws a touchdown pass. So that same crap on this past Monday night. He's been running the same stupid concept since he's been here. Vic Fangio's in the building. Why not use him? Time's yours.
So Hollis, thanks for having me on the show. It's good to see you. But no, in all seriousness, I don't mind if someone like you a second, my friend. There's a reason I have you on is for your vast knowledge and your business accoutrement. Anyway, but it also like I thought the Vic Fangio influence on this defense was showing its face for the vast majority of the season, which is why this was such a tough pill to swallow. Not that I think Jonathan Gannon throughout this season has like evolved into Jim Johnson or Buddy Ryan or anything like that. But for me, I at least saw improvement. There was a little bit more aggression. And then it really seems like the last 2 weeks, that was a facade. Okay, that was a facade.
Yes.
You're right. You're right. The minute you start dropping those guys in the coverage, the coverage, you're thinking to yourself, well, hold on a second. I understand the people that call out other people for saying just blitz. You got to blitz all the time. Like, no, hold on a second. If you have guys that have showed in their career history, they're pretty good at getting the quarterback. Why not just unleash the hounds and let them get after the quarterback like a guy like Robert Woods has done and a guy like Hassan Reddick has done?
That's Robert Quinn. And that's,
Robert Quinn. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes. I unleash the fury. Unleash the fury. Now, it was seen that we are in agreement. I think the facade was he ran some stunts and stuff early on in the season, and you saw some blitzes, and we have a secondary that can handle that type of situation. But not only that, it's not like we've been playing against like Tom Brady's or the Peyton Mannings of the world or the Josh Allens or the Patrick Mahomes who are great under pressure. We're playing against Taylor Heineke, David Mills. Are you kidding me? There's no way on God's green earth that they're supposed to be standing back there heating up our defensive secondary the way it is. The one thing that you can't do is put your secondary in a bind. Our secondary was in a bind all day long yesterday, on Monday. Sorry. It's still fresh in my head because it just stinks to the high heaven. There's no way that we should have this type of talent, and we should be giving up. Dude, we gave up a 16-play drive. A 16-play drive. You know how long our offense had the ball for in the first half? 5 minutes.
Yep.
5 minutes. I was like, hey, you giving up, and it's like when you play the passive aggressive nature, it's like, and a lot of people was like, well, Fletcher is losing this and that. If you put the guys where the offense knows they're going to be every time, all you have to do is double team, rub double, and the linebackers are just standing there because they're rub doubling. They ran the same 2 plays that the Houston Texans ran on us. They were running left and right with a rub double zone. The rub double means they double team the defensive tackle, and once they get some movement, the other guy goes up to the linebacker, and the guys get 2, 3, 4, 5 yards, sometimes 8 or 9 yards. On the first down, you lost. If the offense gets 3 yards or more, you have lost first down. If they get 3 yards or more, you have lost first down defensively. We've been getting our ass handed to us on a weekly basis, but we've been getting by because we've been winning. Our offense has been putting up numbers, and this is the point where the true champion shows up. Let's say defense wins championships. Well, when you have a good defense, you're able to stop the run and you're able to run the ball. We can run the ball, but we cannot stop anything. And Jordan Davis would have been cool, but eventually they would have started moving the crowd on him. If you look, it's Jonathan Gannon's inability to put our defensive players in winning positions. Mm-hmm. There's no other way I can say it. That's the nicest I can say it without cursing.
No. Okay. All right. You know what? All right. So we'll just talk more about rub doubles later because there's something about you saying that just makes me giggle. But then second, I don't know if you saw what Fletcher Cox had to say about playing 70 snaps, which was 84% of the snaps for the Eagles on defense on Monday night. I don't know did you see what Fletcher Cox said?
No, what did he say?
Oh, okay. This you'll enjoy this because while you don't curse, he will. This is from Jeff McClain's Twitter account asking Fletcher Cox about the 70 snaps he played against Washington. And he said, "You really want to know the truth?" And this is from Fletcher Cox, quote, "You really want to know the truth? I feel like shit. It ain't a good feeling. But you do want, but you do what you need to do to win the game. 70 snaps in 70 snaps." So Fletcher Cox is 31 years old, not feeling too good today.
Well, he shouldn't be. 70 snaps. There were 70 snaps. You put him in the same predicament every play. It's kind of like if you walk out your house every day. I don't want to bring crime up because we were just talking about crime. No. If you go through the same rigmarole each and every day. Yeah. And I say somebody's tripping you every day. If you go through the same, if they're waiting at the same place and you going by the same place every time, and they keep tripping you, At some point, you need to go. You need to go in another direction. Our defense is in the same place. They line up almost the exact same way each and every time. If they didn't, then every team, the Houston Texans have built a blueprint and running through our defense, and they didn't even beat us. We gave up 139 yards to a rookie, and a team that's 1-7-1. And show no signs of beating anybody else. So if you think that these next two teams that we about to come across are not finna pound the pavement and try to kick our fronts in, just to make an example out, because we won 8 games and everybody's been talking trash and stuff about their victories. I was like, but we won the games, and our defense, it wasn't put on notice like it is now. We're finna get to some teams that are about to. We get into the meat of the schedule, and they're going to put our defense on notice as well. You need to stop the run, or they'll do. We have a high-powered offense. If you leave them on the sideline, you see what happens. They can't come out and get anything going. If your team is not able to build anything, if they're not able to build anything, just what happens. They get cold. The ball is slippery. They're not in sync. And you're on the field for 40-plus minutes. 40-plus minutes of fury. 70-plus snaps of stank.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I asked this question of your old friend there, Quentin Michael, yesterday. Okay. I'm going to ask you this same question now. If you're standing next to Jonathan Gannon and maybe Vic Fangio as well, and you're tapping them on the shoulder, what are you saying you need to do in order to prevent that being the blueprint for beating the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, you know what? We had a good relationship with Jim Johnson and Tommy Brazier. They would ask us what we see. They know, okay, for the case, we had the same exact thing. I don't know if you remember Corey Simon's rookie year.
Oh, sure.
We played. You remember we played against the Arizona Cardinals, and they had Leonard Davis at guard.
Okay.
That game, we decided the first game we played them, he kind of came out and was playing a little two-gap stuff. And one of us, and I'm not saying number 90, who's currently the Florida State Senator, he could. Leonard Davis was 6'7", 350 pounds. He has a 4-pack too. So,
well, how about that? All right.
Exactly. So Leonard Davis was giving him all that he could handle, and we ended up getting our ass kicked. We played them twice, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the next time we played them, we ran some things to move us around because you're athletic. You don't sit in one place when you have a mammoth-sized offensive line and they're coming off the ball, roll grade to you. 2 gaps or just one plain gap, trying to stay in one gap and try to stand still. 1, you get tired. I was like, 2, you start. It's kind of like being in a job in a rut. I know once Fletcher Cox got to play like 45 or 50, he was like, this crap is getting crazy. It's kind of like him going to work every day and not enjoying his job. It's like he had our defensive coach Jonathan Gannon is not putting us in optimal position. Gotcha. It's like, and I think Vic Fangio is only like a sounding board and is only giving them advice. Because I think they're trying to let Jonathan Gannon hang himself, and he's doing a great job of hanging himself. It's like it's like we couldn't get out of the field.
Right.
It was we ran all the base defenses. When are you gonna run some run blitzes? Mm-hmm. It's like it's obvious we need help against the run. And you wait and you run some blitzes later on in the game. And no, they work. Oh, Taylor Heineke throws us the ball. Oh, maybe you should have been doing that shit at the beginning of the game. Dude, it's like watching paint dry sometimes when you watch our defense.
All right, well, let me ask you this just real quick, just to play devil's advocate for a second, because I have not been a fan of Jonathan Gannon, especially over the last 2 games. But
join the club, we've got jackets.
Are you selling damn Skippy shirts? That's it. Damn Skippy shirts.
Exactly. That's if you get a chance to talk to Seth Joyner.
Of course,
we both feel the same way. Me and Seth had a back and forth text conversation during the. You remember last year he was playing the New York Jets? And we was playing Zach Wilson.
Yes.
Guess what his stats was at halftime? 12 or 14 with 2 touchdowns. A rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, yep. It's no way on God's green earth that a quarterback that's not a top 5 quarterback will stand back there and pick me apart. He will be put on notice. We're gonna hit him early and often. He needs to get the ball out of his hand. You put that mental clock in his head, so he'll be scared. You make him defeat you. You don't let him stand back there.
I agree. I know that part. I'm not playing devil's advocate. Like my thing that I always say with Gannon, and you have a quarterback like in this case Taylor Heineke, for instance. you can force him into making mistakes. Why are you allowing him to be comfortable? That's where you get 16 play drives. So I'm with you on that, but just play devil's advocate. Jonathan Gannon, up into these last 2 games, had a defense that was averaging like the 3rd fewest in the league, was averaging the best pass defense in the NFL with the great play of Darius Slay and James Bradbury, and CD Deuce has 6 turnovers, and you're forcing more turnovers than anybody in the NFL, and you're doing this great job as a defense as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen? How did that happen all of a sudden? And then
the offense. See, what you're not realizing.
Okay.
Is offensively, once our offense gets started and they start kicking butt like they normally do, like they normally give you those long drives and stuff and a quick turn. We had a bunch of 3 and outs. When you go against a team that's going to be good, this is going to be a growing pain, and this is where we need to get rid of Jonathan Gannon. If he doesn't come on in these next 2 games, Vic Fangio, they should insert Vic Fangio quick, fast, and in a hurry, because that's the formula for beating all the stuff you said. All that's true when you're playing against just NFL teams, because what's going to happen once our offense gets up by 14 or 7?
They're going to start chucking it. They're going to start chucking
exactly, yeah. and we have the horses for that. But what's going to happen when the score is not like that? When the score is close.
Right.
And we need the ball back.
Understood. And again, I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
I know what you're saying. Then
right.
I know you're playing devil's advocate, but I'm just giving you straight talk with the boss. It's like
you're right.
It's a chess game. It's a chess game as a defense coordinator. You're looking to get inside the head of the offense coordinator. And if you deploy your players like Jonathan Gannon has been deploying our guys, you're gonna get your ass kicked 9 times out of 10, especially against a good team. And they're gonna do it. You got behind. It's just like this. When you saw most teams beat the Patriots, who everybody calls the GOAT. I don't know what the hell for, because he's got cheating scandals attached to his name like nobody's business. But when they wanted to beat him, they would keep the ball away from him, run the ball. That's why you think they had great defense. That's the only reason why he was able to even do half the stuff he was doing. And once you can stop the run and you can run the ball, you're in the playoffs every year. Mm-hmm. And you have an opportunity to win it all every year. But if you can't stop the run, like right now we're sift. It's like sifted flour at Popeyes, sifted flour. But I'm just saying, it's like when you look at it, it's like I still don't know what the hell he's running. Mm. It's like he's running a bunch of base defense. He's been passive aggressive is the best and nicest thing I can say about him. Okay. But he makes some god awful calls.
All right. Well, first off, now I have to tell you this. I literally talked to my mom like 20 minutes ago. Literally talked to Eleanor, and she was at Popeyes. So I guess you just have it. I think I have to get Popeyes now that I've been thinking about it so much.
Yeah, Popeyes is a delicious meal, and it's a great way to stay in shape.
I'm going to Popeyes right after this. All right, so Lineal Joseph gets signed today by yesterday, by the time we air this, by the Philadelphia Eagles. 34 years old, a Pro Bowler in 2016 and 2017. Jonathan Gannon was on that coaching staff in Minnesota with Lineal Joseph, 34 years old. First off, Hollis Thomas, did you get a call by the Philadelphia Eagles today? Because if they're calling Lineal Joseph, and he's only a couple of years younger than you, my friend, from what I understand, did you get a call?
No, he's way younger than me. I'm
nice.
I'm damn near 50.
You're still a couple years shy. Still a couple years shy of
50. But I was like, no, I think it's a good call because he's a big guy. And as long as he's in shape and stuff, and he not so much a shape, but round is probably the best shape we need right now, because he's a guy that can stop clog up the middle. As like if you look at what was happening to us, we were getting thrown out the club. And it's mainly because we don't have the guys. Like, he's trying to run a certain defense. We don't have the guys for that. And as a coach, you're supposed to notice that. You're supposed to notice that when we were playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers, we were running stunts. That's how we putting the pressure on. We kept the pressure on. We kept it on early and often. He stopped running stunts and stuff. We have an athletic defensive line, and we have some really good linebackers. Now everybody's talking about putting the Kobe Dean in there. What you gonna put him behind them defensive tackles and let him get his ass kicked? I don't do that to that young boy. But I expect them to put him back there behind Lineal Joseph. I think he'd come in and put some stability in the middle, because you can't do it with the smaller guys who are just athletic, especially trying to line them up for 70 damn snaps. 70 snaps from the Washington Redskins. I mean, the Washington football team. I mean, the Commanders.
You'll get there eventually. Yeah,
I get there eventually. But 70 snaps. It's like it's I don't know. And then the weirdest thing is it magnified the ineptitude of the officiating crew.
Sure. Well, real quick, just on the defensive tackle position, because I do want to ask you about the officiating and the safety rules and all that stuff. But when it comes to Fletcher Cox, how much of his, let's say, poor play has been exhaustion, and just 70 snaps is not fair for a guy who's been playing as long as he has, or how much is skill deterioration?
I think it's exhaustion. When you line somebody up just to say the same in the same position over and over and over again, not even run. Sometimes you know how you can get rid of that exhaustion. Occasionally, putting them on the run, putting them on something that they know what they like, getting them on the move, because then you don't have to take on two blockers. You don't have to get hit all the time. Because a lot of times it wouldn't even be 70 plays if you put them on the move. If then you would get out of there on some third downs. Okay. We're standing in the exact same place. It's that's easy to block. It's easy to block that. And we don't have the guys right now. We kind of depleted, and I felt like he should have known that and should have been deploying stunts and stuff. That would have alleviated everything. Because you make the running backs start running east and west instead of north and south.
So the Eagles don't have I believe, a Pro Bowl talent tight end now, as he's been IR'd in Dallas Goedert because his face mask was ripped off, his head was ripped into the ground, or shoved into the ground. He hurts his shoulder in the process. He fumbles the football on a key possession for the Eagles. That's not a penalty, but the little love tap that Brandon Graham gave.
Back Judge 93.
Back Judge 93.
Yeah, he was the one standing there clearly watching it. I don't know what the hell he was watching.
The Goddard one, yeah.
Yeah, the guy on Dallas Goddard one. I'm sitting there looking at the play. I was like, dude, what are you watching? He's got the ball. That's where you're supposed to be looking at. You're supposed to be looking at things that are happening around that area. The fact that missed call should not be in your vocabulary. My boy Troy Vincent was on. He was on one of the others on one of the other sports media outlets saying that he trusts the judgment of our officials. I wouldn't have said that shit out loud. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have said that shit out loud at all. But given the way the roughing the passer penalties that we've seen, the miss. It's not only our game where they're missing face mask calls. Dude, it's all across the league. It's all. If you look at every one of the professional sports now, the officials not suck ass completely. They're god awful. They're horrible. It's like for even in hockey. I was watching a hockey game one time, and they called it wasn't no goal because they hadn't started the clock yet. The officials hadn't started the clock. Why? It's not. We were playing, weren't we? I was like, wow.
Did you miss the cue when we dropped the puck? That's what you said. Like, no, okay.
I know. It's like, but then it's like you can't. The current players can't say anything about the officiating. I can say something because I'm not playing. They're not guys. They need to learn how to earn their job and earn their keep, or get fired. It's like you need to have some people waiting in the wing. It's a part-time gig anyway. You need to have people waiting in the wing. So when calls of this magnitude are missed, kind of like the calls that they missed in the Saints versus Rams game a few years back.
Oh yeah, the defensive pass interference.
Yeah. Not only that. Oh, first of all, illegal contact.
Right. Yeah.
Hitting the defenseless receiver and pass interference. You called none of them. And it's just, dude. It's like driving a Bentley with a Fiat engine. I'm just saying.
All right, take it easy on the Fiat. All right, buddy.
Well, you must have one or something.
No, I don't have a Fiat.
Are they one of your sponsors?
No, let me.
Go ahead.
No. So okay. Do the Eagles bounce back from this, or will they now hit a bit of a lull before the playoffs start?
No, I think they truly bounce back from this. We have a young group of guys who have pride, and they knew something of this magnitude was going to come. I don't think they thought it was going to come against the Commanders, though. I mean, I think when you looked at it all the way up to the end, we had the opportunity to win that game, and it's probably a good thing that we lost it the way we did. That's like because we can't count on a call or two by the officials that did change the complexity of the game. We can't count on them to always do their job. that's kind of jacked up, isn't it? We can't count on officials. The one thing that's supposed to be fair and convenient on down the line, we can't count on them. That's a faux pas.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it.
But it's like, in being around the guys, they have that pride and that integrity where they're getting their mistakes. Now, I don't know defensively. I don't know what the hell Jonathan Gannon is going to do to right this ship, but I know what he needs to do. I was like, but it's not my place to tell him. But I can talk about it all I want to. But I wouldn't try to tell him what to do because I don't want to be the reason why he gets fired. But I know. Put it this way. I know I'm going down with guns blazing. I'm like, it's not going to be for lack of trying because it's like right now it's kind of like we just there. Mm-hmm. And it's if I'm gonna have to get with you one time, and I'm gonna draw up to you what I'm gonna draw up for you. No, I'm gonna draw up for you what I'm actually talking about.
No. I know what you're talking about. You know why? Because you've done this for the first time we ever did a show together. And I brought this up before. We were at Finnegan's Wake, and if you remember, and the band was playing downstairs, and I called them. I was like, "It's way too loud over here," and they're like, "Well, we have to." I'm like, "All right, whatever." You show up, and you on a napkin wrote down, "This is what the Eagles need to do." You slew the napkin across, and it was just 11 arrows pointing at a circle. And I went, "What the hell?" And they were just like, "They got to be aggressive." And I'm like, "You could have just told me blitzed everyone." Anyway, I'm sorry.
That was a blitz we had. Even Fox alert Snake, but some of the arrows were on the cornerbacks, but they were off the ball. I was showing you who they had. The other ones were coming to get the quarterback, and he has to get rid of the ball. He has to make a fast decision. I know this. I know this because I've had a sack, forced fumble, and recovery against Scott Mitchell when he played for the Bengals. It was like we ran the blitz a lot. I was like, you don't want to give him time. If you give him time, you give him time to make a play. Mm-hmm. Who wants to do that?
You know what I've likened this to, and I know you're a man for all seasons, and I know you'll get this reference, but like to me, Jonathan Gannon, throughout the majority of his career as the Eagles defensive coordinator, so the season and a half, I feel like his mentality is like if a baseball pitcher just threw fastballs every pitch, and it was just like, hey, you know what? Still 30% of the time they're going to fail, so I'm just going to keep on going. And there you go. But then you get comfortable in the batter's box and you start tattooing it. Why am I allowing the quarterback to get comfortable if he knows I'm not coming for him?
Exactly. That's what you do. Now you got it. You do not allow the quarterback to get comfortable. That you don't ever. You had to put that. That's why I say put the chump on notice. So he's always looking around. He's throwing the ball and looking back at the defense line because he know we're coming. It's like a real fastball pitch, like a Bruce Sutter fastball pitch.
Like a Bruce. Wow, what a pull. Last thing for you. Okay. All right. When it comes to this Jalen Hurts fella, right,
my guy,
I can't remember too many athletes that had this leap from their first year as a starter to their second year of a starter. It's a very short list. How would you rank it? How impressed are you by the improvement of Jalen Hurts from year one to year two as a starter? Your thoughts on Jalen Hurts?
Well, I told you guys about this. I was rooting for Jalen Hurts the entire time. I told you guys what he was going to be and what I saw. I saw a kid that is he's coachable, and he's a student of the game. When you're a student of the game and you're coachable, you have athletic ability. You see right now. You see the proof. You see the fruits of his labor. That's the best way to describe it. You see the fruits of his labor. He went and he worked on everything that all the chumps that were saying I don't believe in Jalen Hurts. I don't believe in Jalen Hurts. No, you believed in Carson Wentz, but and he stunk up the joint. You still was believing in him when he left. What's the Andrew?
That was for the record. That was the royal you. That did not mean me. That was the royal you. Just so you know. Okay.
No, not you. It was like right. You know how many arguments I have with Yahoo's talking about? Oh, Carson's going to have a better career. He's going to be great at Indianapolis. And he in Washington now?
Yes, he is. That's correct.
Exactly. So I'm not surprised at it. I'm happy that he turned the corner really quick. But it's mainly because everybody was like, I'm not sold on him. Why are you not sold on him? You were sold on a bum. Sold on a bum who hit injuries, who didn't want competition. When you put competition with this kid, he lets you know competition is expected. And if you don't expect competition, you're in the wrong sport. Jonathan Gannon needs to get the hell out of here. Oh, sorry.
What the
I
hell?
I was going.
I blacked out for a second. What happened? All right. All right.
But no, it's like I love what he's doing. If you see TK Tom Kelly, tell him, ha! No. I saw him do something. Oh, you see that throw? He can't. And then it's to all you jackasses out there who stay trying to nitpick at this game. Go get in the bathroom. Get in the bathroom.
Put him in a bench room. Put him in a bench room.
Yeah.
I'll have to text TK a message. I haven't talked to him in a minute, man. Hollis Thomas, always great catching up with you, brother. You know I love you, and I love this shirt. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen.
You.
Damn, Skippy.
Appreciate you, damn Skippy.
And yes, the beard is looking the strongest it's ever looked.
Well, thank you. I've been using some products, but I'm not gonna give them any free publicity.
Follicle enhancing drugs? Follicle enhancing drugs?
Oh hell no. Just regular. That's regular moisturizing and wash.
You got to moisturize. Yes. You got to moisturize.
Yes, because it's kind of just like if I had done my hair like this, I may have kept it for just a little bit longer. It's like it's. I was thinking to myself. I was washing my beard the other day. I was like, man, if I'd have done my hair like this, I probably would still have that shit. I probably would still have that shit.
You and I both did the research. That's not how it works. Anyway,
it's hereditary. Thanks, Dad.
No. Thanks, Dad. Really,
Dad.
Hollis, always great seeing you, my friend. Thanks so much.
Great seeing you too, babe.
The great Hollis Thomas joining us here on the Ruffin Orthopedics guest line. How do you not love that man? How do you not love that man? Hollis Thomas, ladies and gentlemen. Always great talking to him on the Ruffin Orthopedics guest line. I'm going to jump right into the chat check, ladies and gentlemen. We got to get the show moving here. Dan, Sean, Kevin, good morning. How you guys doing? Nice to see you. What else do we have here? Sean, I guess you're good. Mally! There you are, Mally. What's going on? Dan Schwartz, morning, people. Dave Dombrowski comes off so confident. I got a lot of trust in that guy. It might be because he's a good talker. He is a good talker, and he's a good talker, especially when it comes to like talking about money. Not a good talker when it comes to talking about possibly Reese Hoskins working out in the winter. In the winter? Pshaw. Anyway. Mele, Dan, can't wait to hear Painter is really a painter. Painting the strike zone. Nice, Dan. Joe R. What's up, Joe? How you doing, bud? Simmons is still more productive than Thibault and Tucker combined. Can confirm, no doubt. But at least they want to win. Well, I can definitely say that about Tucker. Ben Simmons is Instagram legend, says Sean Gillespie. Dominates and always shoots there. Always shoots there for some reason. I wish I knew why. Dan making the whole lineup. Attack the run with lockdown corners and a good safety plan. Man to man with single high safety being Gardner Johnson in the box. All you have to do is teach him how to tackle. That might help. Sean Gillespie, tell him, Hollis, please help Gannon make more adjustments. Yeah, let's cross our fingers for that. Very good running back is still to play. Saquon twice, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Colts. Yep, no doubt. Jeff, you're absolutely right. April. Good morning, April. Mally, smoke him if you got him. Dan Schwartz. Yeah, that would be a rough night out with Hollis. And that is a true story. At Finnegan's Wake, he literally drew up blitz packages just like that. And it was specifically every arrow was just pointing at the quarterback. That's what I remember distinctly. Dan Schwartz said in the interview, I'll have to talk to TK. TK is Tom Kelly. Yeah, Tom Kelly from WIP. Yeah, great guy. Sean Gillespie, Hollis's beard is strong. Oh, it absolutely is. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great. As per usual, Morning Rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Sixers back at it tonight. Hopefully, Joel Embiid, yet another historic performance for the 76ers. First game since that amazing 59-point performance for Joel Embiid. Saw Patrick Beverly recently called him the best big man in the game, best big man since Shaquille O'Neal. I would have to confirm those reports. And also, Sixers are on it tonight. Tough game against the Milwaukee Bucks. 7:30 tip-off in South Philly tonight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzy. Thanks to Hollis Thomas for joining the show. Jim Hyder produced the program, did a wonderful job. As per usual, this is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. Have a great rest of your day. We'll also talk a little bit about our holiday schedule for Thanksgiving for next week. I'll mention that tomorrow with yous guys. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night. Great rest of your day. Go Sixers.